Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be doing just a little bit more work on the R33 Gtr. For those of you that have been following the channel, you know I recently imported this car from England, and although it's in amazing condition, almost no rust, there are a few little maintenance items I would like to do and some issues that the previous owner created that I'd like to fix before we start modifying the car and putting down some big power numbers. Today's actually going to be a very easy job. We're just going to basically dealing with most of the fluids. We're going to basically be changing out the transmission fluid and the engine oil. The reason why is, well, I don't know when the last time they were done, so might as well do them myself so I know everything's clean and fresh and the car is ready to go. However, two things before we get started. One, if you do want to see more automotive, particularly GTR and S14 content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And two, if you'd like to support the channel, I do have the JD Archer shop. If you go to jdarcher.bigcartel.com, you can see a limited selection of t-shirts I've designed that are for sale. But with that out of the way, let's put some fresh fluid in this car. Quick note before we get started working on the car, all of the tools and products used in this video will be listed in the description down below. That way, if this is something you need to do to your car, all you have to do is take a look at that list, make sure you have everything you need before you get started. I never want you to find yourself in a situation where maybe you've dropped the transmission fluid and you need a tool or you need a part, and all of a sudden you're looking for that last minute ride to like Home Depot or Lowe's or AutoZone or wherever you need to go to get whatever you need. So if you check that list before you get started, you'll have everything you need. On top of that, I will have links to where all these products can be found. So if you want to order them online, you can go ahead and do that. But with all that out of the way, let's start getting working on the car. Since we're going to be doing an oil change on the car and we don't know what the maintenance records are like on this thing, one of the things I am going to do before I do the oil change is run some seafoam through the car. That way you can kind of clean out any oil passages, kind of clean out some of the engine. That way when I drop the oil, get some of that junk out of there. Now, seafoam, pretty good stuff. I've used it in a lot of my cars, my Supras, my R32, all that stuff. So I've done this before. I'm going to be running it through the oil. You can run it through your fuel as well if you want to. You can run it through your intake. I personally wouldn't do that because there's coatings on the individual throttle bodies, and if those get cleaned off, your car won't idle right. So I've never run it through the intake. Somebody else may have. Go ahead and post in the comment section down below. Let us know if it's safe or not. But for today, I'm just going to run it through the oil. That way when I drop the oil, put fresh oil in there. Hopefully it's a real clean situation. Now apparently the amount you're supposed to use on this is 1 ounce per quart of oil. I believe the RB runs about 6 quarts about. This has got 16 fluid ounces in it, so I'm gonna have to kind of estimate. I figure about 1/4 to 1/3 of the can should probably do it. And then we're gonna run the engine for 10 minutes. That way it has a chance to cycle through, let it cool down a little bit, drop the oil, put the fresh oil in. All right, go ahead and fire it up. All right, so we're just gonna let it run for about 10 minutes, shut it off, and start doing the oil. Now we got the car up on ramps, it's time to get it in the air. Now, one of the biggest questions people have is how to jack these cars up without damaging them. Now, these cars are notorious for people using the pinch weld here to jack up the car. The problem is over time, it damages the pinch weld. As you can see, I've got a little bit of damage here. But actually, Nissan did something really cool, and they actually gave you a jack point, and it's underneath the car. And if you see if I can get it framed up right, there's a crossbar over there, and it has a giant X in the middle of it. That is actually where you're going to jack up the car without damaging it. There's the bar right there, and there's the X stamped into the middle. It's very hard to miss. So that's where we're going to jack the car up from, and that way we don't damage any of the rails or anything. Now the car's in the air, it's probably gonna be easier to show you the jack point. So as you can see, there's the X right there. That's where I jacked from. And then we got jack stands on either side holding the car up. And so that's a good safe place to support your car without worrying about damaging anything. Okay, so this is interesting. I thought I was gonna have to take off some of these aerial panels right here to do the oil change, but it's actually not the case at all. Nissan was smart enough to give you room and space to do your oil change without having to take off your under trays. That's pretty cool, a little bit less work for me. All right, time to drop the oil, 14 millimeter. Okay. Ooh, that's still pretty hot. So far, not seeing any particles in the oil, which is good. I just can't tell. It's pretty black, so who knows when it was changed last. Now I'm just gonna go up top real quick to remove the oil fill cap, kind of break any vacuum there is, get the rest of it out of there. So while I was cleaning the bolt to get it ready to go back in, this started to come off the threads. So it looks like whoever did the oil change last time just used some sort of RVT to seal it instead of a copper ring. See, like I can scratch it off. I don't know what's going on with this, but I'll get that cleaned up before I put it back in. I'll use a actual washer. All right, so previous owner had this huge washer that he'd put on this thing. I now have this copper crush washer. Fits a 350Z, so it's about the same. So we're gonna go ahead and put the plug back in and then worry about the oil filter. So that copper washer crushes as you tighten, so it compresses, gets you a really good seal.
It comes like American plastic, American muscle, that's his jam.
Yeah.
Same with exotic.
All right, so that oil filter is not coming off for nothing. Who knows how long it's been on there and how tight they made it. So unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff in the way, so it's difficult to get your hand in there. So what I have is this little device right here. It goes onto the oil filter, and then what happens is as you turn the socket wrench on this, it kind of tightens down on it, grips it, and then you can finally turn it so we can get that sucker out of there. This is definitely one of the Achilles heels of this car, is where they put the oil filter, which is why so many people get oil filter relocation kits. Obviously something I will do in the future. So we're just gonna open this up and try and slide it onto the oil filter. Now that that clamp is on the oil filter, trying to fish this down and see if we can't loosen it.
Got it right.
Whew, there it is. See how tiny that is? It's HKS. That's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
So got this one out. So yeah, this tool definitely works. So here's the new filter from Wix. One of the things I'm doing is just getting the O-ring a little wet with clean oil. That way it seals better. This is quite a bit bigger than the one I took off, so I hope it fits. According to the internet, this is the one I need. It's Wix filter. The part number is 51361, if this is what you're looking to do. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Dipstick. Yep, that gets it in there.
I don't remember feeling it. Oh.
We got 5 quarts of Motul 1060. This is recommended by Andrew Hawkins. I trust everything that guy says when it comes to GTRs. I know some people don't use it, but I trust him. And Motul, definitely not too bad.
So if you were just doing oil, it would be 4.5.
Not seeing any leaks, so oil change is a success. Now that the oil change is done, it's time to work on the transmission fluid, since we gotta get this thing completely in the air. And you jack up in the back from the differential. Alrighty, so here we are on to probably the last project of the day. We're gonna be changing out the fluid in the transmission here. I do have the dreaded 5th gear synchro grind, very common with these transmissions. One of the ways you can fix it is if you put in Redline Shockproof Heavy Duty, you'll get rid of that grind. It's not a permanent fix, it's kind of like a band-aid, but for right now it'll work. Now, if you are gonna be doing your transmission fluid, always start with doing the fill plug first. You do this for 2 reasons. One, it gets rid of the vacuum, so when you open up the drain plug, the fluid comes out much more evenly, nothing gets left behind. The other reason is it would suck if you took off the drain plug but have problems getting the fill plug out, because then you've got no fluid in your transmission and no way to get it in. So if you're ever doing transmission fluid, always do the fill plug first. Now, Nissan was very smart. They pretty much have a nice, good bite on these plugs. They're pretty much the size of the breaker bar. And so we're gonna go ahead and start here with the breaker bar in this one and see if we can't bust this sucker loose. That came out. All right. Well, the fill plug's out. Well, fortunately, it's pointed straight down.
Yeah.
Actually, this looks pretty clean.
I'll say from this video.
Okay, well, while that's doing that, can I get a paper towel to clean this plug out a little bit? So this is pretty normal. As you can see, there's some metal shavings. This is a magnetic plug. So as long as it's not excessive, which this does not look like it's excessive, we should be okay. So now that it looks like it's pretty much done draining, looks like there's just drips here and there, I'm gonna reseal it back up. What I did is put a little bit of RTV around it so it can help seal even more, because one thing you definitely don't want to be doing is about 90 miles an hour and have your transmission seal up on you. So looks like we're doing good as far as where it was at. So here we are with the Redline Shockproof Heavy. Having one of these pumps makes your life so much easier. So we just slowly start pumping that up there. Oh. Looks like that might be it. Yep. Okay, I think that is done. New fluid in the transmission. Took almost 5 quarts. All right, so last on the agenda for today is the transmission mount. So here's the new one. Here's the old one. It's completely collapsed. So we got 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, and then 4 here. This piece should drop off. A couple of bolts here, and then we will put the new one on and we should be done for today. So if you notice too, transmission is supported by the jack because I don't want that falling on my head. Now that being said, I am going to move out of the way of the transmission. Looks like the transmission did come down a little bit, so I'm going to jack it back up and hit the bolts on the other side. There we go. So see, here's the actual transmission mount itself. All right, so we got the old mount out, and as you can see, you know, the rubber's touching the metal. It's completely collapsed. It's done. Here is The new one, see how there's a gap here? So this one's not collapsed, brand new Nissan part. So we'll go ahead and put this all on there, and that should be it. Through the holes. Yeah. There we go.
I'm missing the bolts over here.
Well, at this point in time, I can probably drop the jack because it's secured here, 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 and there. And there we go, brand new fluid throughout the entire car. Well, with some exceptions. I didn't do the front and rear differential. I will do those in the future. And I didn't do the radiator fluid because, well, I'm just gonna drop a whole new radiator in there. But other than that, I've got brand new engine oil, new filter, transmission fluid, and a transmission mount. Now, the reason why I use a red line shockproof heavy on the transmission is this car is suffering from the famous 5th gear synchro grind. The 32s and the 33s all suffer from it. It's very common. And the oil is a bit of a band-aid, so the transmission is shifting nice and smooth right now. But at some point in time, I will have to open up that transmission and adjust and basically address that synchro. But that's a future issue. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go hit that thumbs up button to let me know. It does help the channel out a lot. As I did say at the beginning of the video, if you'd like to see more automotive, particularly GTR and S14 content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on all forms of social media, which include Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. There'll be links for all those in the description down below. Now, after watching this video, if you have any questions about what I did, why I used certain products, or you think there's even a better way to do what I did, go ahead and post in the comment section down below. I will respond to you. I thank you all for watching, and until next time, forget everything else, focus on the finish line.